Okay, this is it. This is the new house that I've been talking about. I am finally in. All my stuff is here, and I'm gonna start fixing it up. 100 years old, built in 1915. Craftsman style house. I am no longer sleeping on couches. I've got a lot of work to do. Back in the 1960s, they took out a lot of the original detail, put in paneling, popcorn ceilings, stuff like that. I'm gonna undo that. And redo some of the old character, try and bring it back to the way it was originally. Follow the process. Subscribe to this channel and you can see as the house develops. I'm going to build furniture, do some interesting decorating. Let's go inside and see what I've got to do. Okay, the living room. Spoiler alert. I already started in on the fireplace. Continuity. Don't get used to it. It's overrated. Okay, in here, the floors are laminate floors, but there's a hardwood floor underneath. Laminate's coming up, exposing the hardwood, refinishing it. Popcorn ceilings. I don't know what I'm going to do about those. Paneling everywhere, including in front of the fireplace. Paneling's all coming off. Crown molding going back in. And this room, once I do those things, is more about decorating than it is about building anything. The dining room. This is the same floor as in the living room, so that's all coming up. Same popcorn ceilings. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna explore, I'm gonna cut holes, see what's what, maybe cover it up. But again, there's paneling everywhere. Paneling is all going away. Breakfast bar going away. Built-ins are going back in. This is where they would originally have been. That's the dining room. Okay, the guest room. It's covered with paneling everywhere, paneling. Instead of taking the paneling out, I'm thinking of covering it up with bookshelves. This closet goes away, so I get rid of this mirror, and into the bookshelves do a built-in armoire and dresser, because if you want it to be a bedroom, it has to have a closet for it to be considered a bedroom. And then here on this wall, a Murphy bed, so that my honored guests can have a place to relax with a book. And that way the bed won't be dominating the room when it's not actually in use. Okay. Okay, the downstairs bathroom. I think this is the one room in the house where the paneling doesn't come down. Just some basic upgrades in here. A new faucet, eventually new countertops, because this doesn't really go with the period of the house. Tile, perhaps, or concrete, and then paint. Paint. This is the hall right outside the bathroom, and it has this really low drop ceiling that I can actually touch, and something is keeping the panels from being moved or lifted out of the way, so I'm guessing that's where the bodies are buried. The master bedroom. This is upstairs. The master suite is its own little unit upstairs. Oh, paneling again everywhere. Wall-to-wall carpeting coming up. There's a hardwood floor under here, and then it's all about building things. And we'll see how that turns out. Okay, the master bathroom. When someone says master bathroom, I think of a room that's large, big, spacious, masterful, and maybe has room for 2 sinks, but this is not that. This was actually a closet at one time. Back when they built these homes, when they had an indoor bathroom, they probably had one in the whole house. Anyway, but this is tiny. You have to shimmy up because the sink is right here. And so the sink is coming out, putting a pedestal instead. The shower is good. It's not like super stylish or whatever. So that'll be a low priority. I was gonna start in the living room. That was gonna be my priority, just to make it dressed up and nice. But this room has become my priority because this situation with the sink is so just physically awkward and uncomfortable coming in here and trying to shave and brush your teeth and stuff like that. Although it's really tempting to start just tearing out wood paneling that's all over the place, and of course I couldn't resist doing that above the fireplace, so that's already started. Okay. The kitchen. The guy that used to live here, he lived in the house for 50 plus years. He was a carpenter. He built all these cabinets, but the drawer fronts and doors are all coming off and going back to a more traditional Craftsman thing instead of this 1960s cove. And the ceiling is so low that I can touch it. I'm not sure what this soffit is all about, but it's coming out and exposing what I think is a beadboard ceiling based on other little exploring things that I have done. That's the plan so far. Alright, this is the garage. This is my shop. Right now it's totally disorganized because I've just been taking things out of storage and shoving them in here. And I haven't organized anything yet, but all the way back here it goes. I'm going to be bringing all of my shop equipment in, getting this place up and running. This will be where I'll be building the furniture and fixtures and whatnot that goes into the house. So I'm excited about getting this. I got to show you this wall. This is the shop as it existed before I moved in. This stuff has been here accumulating for 50 some years. I acquired all these rusty old tools. Some of them are useful. Some of them will be upcycled, repurposed, turned into other things. I'm excited about getting into all of that. Okay, so this is my new house. You can follow the progress on Facebook and on Twitter. You can see the links down below to my social media. I'm on Pinterest as well. Follow along with hashtag 1915 house. Subscribe to the channel and you'll see the progress as it comes along, and I'm really excited to get started, and I'm really excited to share it all with you. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. I'm Justin DiPego. We're in the master bathroom in my 1915 Craftsman style house, and it's really cramped in here. This was originally a closet when this house was built. It was converted into a bathroom. But the layout that they chose when they converted it is very strange. The biggest problem is this sink, which is right in the doorway. The sink projects about halfway in, effectively making the doorway this wide instead of this wide. So you have to turn sideways to walk into the room. It's not a comfortable space at all. Eventually, I want to redo the layout of this entire room, but that's down the road. For today, I'm going to take this sink out and replace it with a pedestal sink, but I didn't get a pedestal sink. I got this. This is a cast iron sink. I got it for, can you see that? $15 at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. I'm gonna put a new faucet set on it, except I'm gonna do it before I make the pedestal for the sink, so all of this hardware is easier to get at. So I'm gonna start with that, and then I'm gonna build a pedestal for it and install the whole thing up in that little space so it's easier to move around in the bathroom. Let me get that done. The old stuff is off. Before I put the new stuff on, now I can use this oval. Now I can use this oval as a guide for my bending. But before that, I'm going to put the new hardware on. Installing the new faucet is just a matter of following the instructions. I'm going to keep it in this milk crate just to protect everything and so that I don't crack off this protuberance. It's a little more old-fashioned, in keeping with the look of the house. Okay, I'm going to create a skeleton for the inside of the pedestal, sort of an oval pillar. So what I did is I created a jig for me to bend these pieces of steel around. These are easy to bend, but in order to get exactly the right shape, and I want 3 that are pretty much identical, I'm going to bend them around these bolts. So I'll start here and bend it around and meet this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, come back around, and then I should have an oval of steel that matches the oval that I scribed out of the sink. So let's see if that works. So that gets a weld right there. And then this one will then be my template for the other 2. Okay, first cut. I'm not gonna lie, that's really loud. I have one more cut to make, and then I'll have all my legs. Wow, okay, and now I have 4 legs of identical length, 33 inches, which is what I wanted it to be. When you're done with this, you have to chain it up because this thing is a beast. Okay, I posted some images of this on social media as it is right now. Honestly, the best response I was thinking I was going to get was, can't wait to see what it looks like when it's done. Because the plan, I had a whole other plan to finish it, but you really seemed to respond to it in its skeletal form. And it made me think, I was designing my bathroom around a cabinet that I'm going to install, but I didn't make that cabinet. And I made this, and based on the positive response I got about this, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to finish it as it is and design the bathroom around this piece, which I built. That makes more sense. So thank you for your comments and responses, and keep that happening, and maybe you can influence what my house looks like. So this needs now some grinding, and also the points up here on the ends of the angle iron need to be ground off so that the sink can sit flush with this rim. I'll let this sit here for a little while, and then I'll take it upstairs and install it. Here it is. The whole bathroom is going to be designed around this thing, and that means black and white and chrome. Beauty shot. Alright, so now I can move in and out of my bathroom without having to shimmy past the vanity, because if you remember, it came all the way out to like here, which is ridiculous. I don't know how they chose to put that vanity in this little bathroom. Plus, this sink is much more in keeping with the style of my 100-year-old house. Sorry, a little chill or something. That was weird. I hope you like the sink, and I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then please give me a thumbs up and follow along, subscribe, and see what else happens in 1915 house. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. I'm Justin DiPego. We're in the master bedroom. I have a lot of furniture and things to build in here. Things to build and make to fill this room. Before I do that, I want to address the walls and floor so that I don't have to move everything that I build out of the way. That means the paneling that you see behind me is coming off the walls, and the wall-to-wall carpeting is coming up off the floor. I'm gonna attack the paneling first. See where that leads me. I know there's a hardwood floor. The evidence is strong that there is a original hardwood floor underneath the carpet. I don't know the condition of it. We'll be exposing that. Let's see what we can see. Okay, I moved my bed away from the wall, and I'm standing on milk crates because if I had a ladder, I would just have to keep moving the ladder, but these give me more room to walk around on, and they're easier to move. So that's a good tip if you're working up over your head. And I'm wearing eye protection because I am going to be working over my head, and things are going to fall down on me without a doubt. We're going to start by trying to get this molding off. I'm not concerned about preserving and reusing it, so I don't need to be gentle. I see yellow paint. Next, I attack the baseboard. You want to be wary of nails. Sometimes they stay in the wall, sometimes they come out in the molding. Be careful of them, and when you throw this stuff aside, they may end up landing points up. So I'm gonna get in there first with a knife and break that paint seal, and then I'm gonna get in with there with the pry bar. Okay, what I see here is not making me happy, and you'll see why in a second. See this? That's outside. See how narrow that window is? This is the old width of the window. It used to come all the way down to here. For whatever reason, they decided they wanted smaller windows in here. When they did the work, they put in a smaller window. They created a new frame for it, but they just paneled over the opening here. So on the other side of this tar paper is just the stucco. There's no insulation. This is one of the reasons why it's so cold in this room. I have a feeling I'll find the same thing on the other wall over there. And I'm actually really glad that I exposed this. I mean, it's not pretty and it's a pain in the ass, but it's something that needs to be repaired. You know, you gotta love opening up walls. Oh my God. Look how big this window used to be. It used to come all the way to here. I can't imagine the conversation that went like this. We like the master bedroom, but we prefer if there was wood paneling on the walls. Okay, I take it back. Wood paneling, at the time that they put this in, back in the 1960s, it was the thing. This wood paneling went up in 1968. So, okay, it was trendy, it was popular, it was the thing to do. But I feel like the windows are too big. We're letting in too much of the outside light. Or maybe they were trying to keep something in rather than keep the light out. Something that prefers the darkness. You can see the outline in the paint here. This was all window trim. Window trim in the Craftsman style of the time. I'm sure that this was some very nice carpentry right here. I'm heartbroken right now. I'm totally stunned by this window issue. All right, moving on. Okay, the wall behind my bed is now fully exposed. Plaster is in terrible shape. It's cracked everywhere. So I'm just gonna have to drywall over it. I'm not gonna try and repair it. Not only that, but they also paneled over the attic access so I can now see the backside of the ceiling for my kitchen. Wow. Wow. Well, this is totally unexpected. What do you think? That wall is going to have a larger window, but what do you think about this wall? This is another outside wall. Do you think there's another window buried behind this paneling? I bet there is. Okay, so far no window. This is actually good news because it means less work. You can't have an adventure if everything goes according to plan. Of course, the plan was to get the paneling down and then get the carpet up and then start building furniture and cool stuff for this room. Of course, that's not what's about to happen because, well, of all this weirdness that I discovered behind the walls, and I have a lot of strange repairs to do. And not only that, but this is my bedroom. This is going to be a very creepy place to sleep with all of these blacked out windows and dark attic accesses and this strange streaky breath marks on the walls. You can tell that that air has been passing through the walls, and then whatever comes through the walls gets stopped by the paneling. Of course, the paneling is gone now, so that won't happen anymore, but all those weird dark streaks were left behind, those sooty marks on the cracked plaster, making it extra creepy in here. So anyway, who knows what I'll discover next behind the walls of 1915 house. Join me and you'll discover it at the same time that I do. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. I'm Justin DiPego, back in the master bedroom of 1915 house, where you saw I tore the paneling down and discovered all the crazy weirdness behind the walls. Since then, I have put drywall up, put a skim coat over that, and painted. I wanted to get that done as quick as possible because of just how creepy it was up here, so I didn't shoot video. You may have just seen me shoot that little snippet I did of me carrying 16 sheets of drywall up the stairs. But that had to happen fast because it was just too weird up here. Not only did I not want to sleep up here, but my redheaded lady friend certainly didn't like it the way that it was. So it's a lot cleaner and nice up here. Obviously I haven't dealt with the windows yet, but that's something to come because today we're finally tearing up this terrible carpet. So that'll help make the place look a lot less like a crime scene. Okay, pull the carpet up. Here's the floor. What I can see of it so far looks like it's in pretty good condition. Hopefully this is what we see, what we continue to see. As we keep pulling it up, this is coming up pretty easily, and then there's gonna be all these staples in the ground that are holding the pad down. So we're gonna have to get those staples out as well. And I'm gonna mask up with a respirator because we'll be kicking up a lot of dust. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we can cut the carpet away with this. You can use this. You could take this same concept and you can put it on a power tool, which makes this one of the more terrifying tools with this big gut hook, and it'll make short work of the carpet. Let's see what the floor looks like. Found an old school blade from when they installed the carpet. That blade's been sitting under there for 40 plus years. Okay, and I'm happy. This all looks really good. Also, it doesn't look like they overused their staples when they were putting the pad down. I don't have as many staples to take out as I might. The condition of the floor looks pretty nice. Okay, this is the halfway point. So far, no scary surprises. Okay, this is what you're left with when you pull up a whole bunch of ancient carpet. You get ancient cruddy residue, plus all the staples that were holding the pad down. It's weird, there's like twice more, 3-4 times as many staples on this half of the room as on this half of the room. There were two people installing the carpet simultaneously. I think they had differing philosophies on staples. Looks like they had some kind of a conflict. Anyway, we'll get this cleaned up. Okay, I've created a major trip hazard here at the top of the stairs. That'll keep the carpet from rising up and grabbing your foot. I'm sitting on my floor. It's covered with hundreds of staples. Well, I've already actually removed the staples from this half of the room. The half that I now have to attack is the half with the overzealous staple guy. And they stapled the hell out of that. All the way down. I've got to take all these out. All these little dots you see on the floor are pieces of the pad, I guess, that broke down. I can't think of what else it might be. Boom, done. Okay, I refinished the floor. That took overnight. I tried to sand down past those red dots, but they were deep in there, so I didn't bother going any deeper. Now it's not so creepy. It looks less creepy anyway. You may have noticed that red blanket that was on my bed that matches my shirt. It's gone. That was weird, but I suspect that my redheaded lady friend took it to sleep on the couch because you know, she still doesn't like it up here. But we're headed in the right direction, I think. You know, now we can move on to new projects, keep things moving forward and getting less and less spooky. And now that it is less spooky, I hope you will stay with me and follow along and see what happens at 1915 House. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. I'm Justin DiPego, here in the master bedroom in 1915 House, where I discovered these two attic accesses, one here and one right on the other side of the room, they were buried behind the paneling, all sealed up. Honestly, I'm wondering, I kind of regret taking the paneling down. I wonder if I should have just painted it. Because now, even though the room is nice, it's very strange up here. It's the bedroom, and it's really hard to sleep up here. And my redheaded lady friend doesn't like to sleep up here. I can hardly blame her, but anyway, it's raining now for the first time since I moved in, so I discovered a leak downstairs, which means I have to go into the attic to see if I can track down the source of the leak and maybe fix it. I don't want to go in there, but in I go. I don't think I can manage the video camera while I'm crawling from joist to joist. There's not enough room in there to maneuver, so you have to be on your hands and knees. So anyway, I don't think I can do the video camera. So I got my phone, so I'm going to shoot stills, and I have a voice recorder app. I'm going to have that running when I'm in there, so you can come in there with me. I have a respirator, because who knows what has been accumulating in there for 100 years. And I have my flashlight.
This could be my last selfie. Alright. I set up a work light in the open access panel. It's lighting up the whole space, but just fell over for no reason right on its face. I can't crawl all the way back to it. So now it's pitch black in here. Yeah. The great thing about a flashlight is the complete darkness beyond the beam. There's just enough room in here for me to crawl on my hands and knees. I can't sit up. I'm staying on the joists because I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall through the ceiling. I'm slipping. I'm slipping off my mask for a second, just to see. It smells dry, and maybe stale. Even though it's wet outside, it's like it's been perfectly sealed. There's no rot or anything. It's like what they say they smelled when they opened King Tut's tomb. All right. This I bumped up against this support post. Looks like a support post, but it's hollow. It's hollow when I knock on it. And oh, well, okay. There's a piece of paper that came out. A note. It's a note. It's hidden inside this false post. Maybe a time capsule, like, was in there on purpose. Mike, Debbie, Terry, Karen, Cheryl, Dee Dee, Chucky, Kevin, Holly, Gloria, Butch, Sherry McDowell. This 100-year-old list just fell apart in my hands. Just dissolved. That also happened when they opened the tomb. These sealed things that hadn't been exposed to the atmosphere. I saw these artifacts for an instant, and then when the seal was broken, they instantly crumbled to dust. It's super creepy. I'm not gonna lie. In the darkness beyond it, I hope that's the rain tapping on the roof. I seriously hope that's the rain tapping on the roof, because it sounds like somebody's in here just out of the light. Of course, my battery is getting low. I'm crawling all the way around this U-shaped or C-shaped attic. So I went in above my living room, but now I'm above the kitchen on the other side. This attic completely surrounds my bedroom. That's the other access portal. It's like looking out into another world. Thank God, it's just me emerging out of the wall into this bedroom.
I'm Justin DiPego, again in the master bedroom of 1915 house, where, well, I took down all that paneling, tore up the old carpet, refinished the hardwood floor, put up drywall over all of that crazy, scary looking cracked plaster, but it's still creepy. And the reason it's still creepy is because of this. When I tore down the paneling, I discovered this access into the attic. There's another one like it just on the other side of the room, and I've been in there, and it was, it's not good. The attic completely surrounds the bedroom. Anyway, it's time to seal this up because, well, I think I said before that my redhead lady friend doesn't like to sleep up here, and now she actually won't sleep up here, and I'm not sleeping well up here either. I'm not sleeping. So I gotta get this sealed up. So we're gonna do that.
Apart from the normal course of physics, that normal confidence and so already that they're not apart from the normal course of psychic events. In the case of manifestations, they still have complex systems. They start in the genesis of physical manifestations for the stronger phenomena required as a rule. Presence of unconditional deep
Okay. I'm glad that is done. Obviously, it doesn't completely blend with the wall. This was going to be part of a whole molding project I was going to do in here. Baseboard and crown, get it all looking nice and finished in here, but I just needed to get this done. So it's painted and plastered so that it matches the wall, and that creates also some insulation, and now it's sealed and I feel much better. It's almost like there was a beehive in there, and I slammed the door on it. Now I can barely hear it buzzing. So that's good, and maybe I can actually get some sleep in here tonight. More projects and things to come, so please follow along and see what happens in 1915 house. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. I'm Justin DiPego, and this is my bathroom. Time to lighten things up in 1915 house. The guest bath is getting a makeover, largely under the auspices of my redheaded lady friend. In fact, she's doing the lion's share of the work. Things are getting a little too tense and weird and creepy upstairs, so we are downstairs. As part of all of this, the mirror has come down, and if you've been following along with what's going on in my house, then you know that I was both relieved and disappointed to find nothing interesting behind the mirror. So, in order to rectify that, we're going to do a little project here to stick it to the commenters and to some people in my family who say that my house is creepy and haunted. I thought I'd leave behind something that the next person to take the mirror down can find. So as soon as that's dry, put the mirror back up. Maybe in 100 years somebody will take it down. Okay, please like, please subscribe, follow along, see the progress of the house in this room and in the others, and join me for some cocktails along the way. Thank you. I'm Justin DiPego in the living room of 1915 house, where I'm doing more projects instead of working upstairs, where things got a little weird, but things have calmed down, things are good, and moving on to something I've wanted to do since the day I moved in. This fireplace has this tile facade, this sort of funky 1960s look, which in a different house I actually wouldn't hate. I mean, the way these vertical tiles look might be cool, let's say a 1960s ranch style home, but in this house, totally inappropriate. And the era in which this house was built, there were tiles being made that were called Bachelder tiles. They were kiln fired, sort of natural colors, often with mission scenes or birds. And I can see the original tiles behind this stuff that was installed in the 60s. And they look like they could be that, which would be excellent if putting up these white tiles didn't ruin them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back in behind here and see if I can get the white tiles off without damaging the tiles that are behind it, if they're not already damaged. And you can actually hear when you knock on it, it might give a little. So I'm optimistic about this coming down. First, of course, I have to take down all the decorating that my redheaded lady friend and I have done, because I expect that this might get dusty or dirty. So let's see what happens. Okay, remember when I took you all on the tour of the house? The first room that we talked about was this room. And the first thing that you saw was that this was covered with paneling, and I ripped the paneling down. And it revealed this frame here that was put up just for the sake of that paneling. So now my first step is to remove all of that. It's interesting, they put a lot of these boards in with these double-headed nails that are designed so that you can easily take them out, as if they were intending this to be a temporary structure. Like you might do if you were shoring something up, or if you were, I don't know, boarding up your windows against whatever. You knew you wanted to be able to take the boards down easily when the threat was passed. Tell you what, it sure looks better now that all that's gone, even with it not being repaired yet. You can see the seams between the tiles. So this tile in the corner runs from the corner to this right here. I'm gonna break up with the chisel. I'm just gonna break up the seal, the paint seal between these tiles. That'll make them easier to take out one at a time. That's weird. Did you hear that? Something moved inside the wall. All wants to move as one big unit. Looks like it might come down easier. Easier than I thought it would. Okay, I don't do posts like this. I'm not a vlogger. I don't usually dream journals. This isn't that kind of. But something happened, and I needed to update you or someone. Maybe if something happens and someone finds this someday, because something happened. Well, I've been pretending. I've been pretending that the weirdness doesn't matter, but that's not true. The weirdness matters. The weirdness matters. The weirdness is real. The weirdness is real. Something happened, and I don't know. I woke up here, and I'm okay. But I said that my girlfriend took the my redheaded lady. I said my girlfriend took the that red blanket, but she didn't. It's here. It's right here. And so are my other things. So many of my other things. Like this has been happening for a while. It's like a nest in here. There's this flashlight and the phone, and obviously this has been going on longer than I realize, and now I'm just figuring it out. Because I woke up and I was dreaming about that thing, nightmare, the thing from behind the mirror, from the fireplace. But I've been dreaming about it. I don't sleep, but when I do sleep, I dream about it, and I have been since before. I painted it. I don't know for how long, but this is real, and this is I don't know. I woke up in here. I'm in my attic.
After a short time, the medium desired the circle to sing, and was presently turned all kinds of tunes in chorus, while the less musical ones hummed in time. After about half an hour, the circle was moved from 4 to 6 inches, only for 2 to 3 seconds. So the outline of the profile of a white-clad figure the size of an adult, which was then seen about 6 times in succession, sometimes in profile, sometimes in front view. We could distinctly see a white-clad figure of middle size and strongly marked features, though we could not see whether it was male or female.
I'm between the walls now of 1915 house, or I'm tempted to say I'm between the walls, but it's impossible. It's impossible. This is not between the walls. This is an impossible space. I mean, you saw how I got in here. There's no room for something like this in the layout of the house. This shouldn't exist. I don't know where I am. But it's between the rooms, between it's in between. That's where I am. I'm in between. But I'm not alone in here. I saw it. I saw the thing. I saw the thing. And I hear it. You can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know. It's a voice in my head. There it is. I'm gonna follow it. It's easy to get stuck, but I see it. Do you see it? And I hear it. I can't tell what it's saying. It's saying it's the same thing. It's what I've been hearing. It's what I've been hearing all along. You hear it? It's what I've been hearing from the beginning. I thought it was in my head. I thought it was saying something. This is a dead end. I don't know how it got past me. Just disappeared through here somehow, but there's a shaft of light coming through this little hole in the wall. I don't know if you can see it. I think it led me right here to this. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Look. I don't know. What the fuck is that? I know that's where it started. I know it's the bedroom. That's where it's all coming from. Show yourself. You show yourself to me up there. No. Hey, you keep talking. Keep talking. Come back here, you bastard. This is my house. This is my house. Oh, fuck.
The guest room.
You're not getting away from me. You're not getting away from me. Again. You bastard. You.
Downstairs bathroom.
No.
Kitchen. This is my house. You can follow the progress.
I get it. You got me. You got me. You're gone. They're gone. My house isn't haunted. I got you. I understand. I know what it means. I got you. You got me. You are here. You got me. You're protecting my house. So my house isn't haunted. But if you're not here, if I didn't let you free, then my house isn't haunted, but your house is haunted.
Baby dear, listen here, I'm afraid to come home in the dark. Every day the papers say a robbery in the park. So I sat alone in the YMCA, singing just like a lark. There's no place like home, but I couldn't come home in the dark. She kissed him good morning, to see him she was glad. And when she tucked him up in bed, he said, I guess I'm bad. Next day the same old story, he came home just at dawn. But he got sober right away when he found she was gone. At noon he heard her slam the garden gate. Said she to Jonesy, is my hat on straight? Baby dear, listen here, I'm afraid to come home in the dark. Every day the papers say a robbery in the park. So I sat alone in the CAFE, singing just like a lark. There's no place like home, but I couldn't come home in the dark.